Okay, in this example, working on elevations, I'm taking a purely hypothetical elevation here, but it's a kind of scenario that could exist. If we look at this in 3D, we'll kind of isolate this out. So obviously I haven't taken a whole lot of time to model this, but the idea is that we're trying to elevate this elevation. However, the site would be sloping potentially up and away from the building. Now obviously on any side where the site slopes away from the building, rather than towards the building, putting an elevation here is not a problem because the site doesn't impede any part of the elevation. However, on this side, I've sort of, as part of this hypothetical, shown a deep overhang so that my elevation marker can't be any closer than that, or it's going to be cutting through the roof. If I didn't have an overhang, I could potentially just put the elevation marker, let's put it like half an inch off the building, and then show you what that would look like here. Right, so I can see my site is live, my model here is live to the elevation, and I'm not really obstructing much of anything. Like the line weight even doesn't account for whatever the door isn't showing up. However, this doesn't work because I have my roof and potentially other overhanging elements, if they're architectural features, trellis, brackets, rafters, whatever, are getting cut through, which I don't want to show on the elevation. So in this case, if we go up to that roof story, this is as close as I can get to that elevation. I might even need to be further away from that if I have gutters and stuff. So I can see here that this much of my elevation is being cut through, right? So I can't see what's going on right at the wall line. So there is a trick to this. It involves a little bit of drafting, but if I move this back to right at the elevation and open this with my current view settings, I can grab the site. This is the site as it's cut through right at the elevation. I'm going to cut that and then go back to the floor plan view, and we'll move this back to a reasonable depth, and we're going to say open it again, and I'm going to paste, so copy and paste that 2D drafting fill into here. From here I can, in my elevation layer settings, I can technically now, well actually hold on, I do have to find the fill and the lines, and we'll put these on the Archicad layer or the elevation annotation layer, and then I can hide the site model in my elevation settings. Oh, it looks like I might have missed the property, but I still get the lines here. So this allows me then to essentially fake in what I have going on over the elevation. You can see I've got probably the wrong fill here, but we can make that something reasonable. Pen 91, we'll put an outline on it, something like pen 148 I think is a good pen. It's a 1mm pen. So now I get that elevation that's cutting through. And yes, this is faked in because this is not where that elevation cut would be. That's where that elevation is at the building. It does allow you then to also sort of ad-lib whatever other design intent you have. So while this isn't necessarily what I would call like an advisable tip for realistic drafting, but it does give you the ability to show that elevation as you intend without cutting through the roof, because the reality is we do need to show what that elevation grade is doing at the building, not 4 or 5 feet away from the building. Certainly there are other tips to get this more live to the model, but a drafting fill supplementing in these areas might be the best solution. If you wanted your other elevations, for example, that are not being impeded by the site to be live to the model, you could keep that site on. You would just need to create additional layer combinations so that on, for example, the north and the east elevations, we're showing the site, and on the east and the west elevations where the site is cropping the building off, we're going to use a drafting fill derived from the site model.